When I think of downtown Fresno, I think of art. I think of a place of many cultures. I think of beautiful architecture. I think of what Fresno is to me. Old buildings, cracked sidewalks, a place that's still figuring itself out. It's not perfect. Sometimes it feels stuck. Sometimes it feels like it's moving. It feels like a community, even if you don't see much people in it. And for some reason, that matters to me. Downtown is the kind of place where you don't just pass through. You notice things. You see the layers and the buildings and the stories that no one is telling anymore. I think of a place that could have been, but it's not there yet. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say we'd like to see our downtown thrive. So what happened? And what efforts are being made to bring back downtown Fresno to what it once was?
Miguel Arias, I'm the Fresno City Councilmember for District 3. That includes the Tower District, South Fresno, Southwest Fresno, and the downtown Fresno, which we refer to as the heart of Fresno. So downtown represents politically the heartbeat of the whole Central Valley. We are the largest city in the Central Valley. We are the center of 4 million residents across multiple counties, and downtown Fresno is the heart of that strong agriculture economy. Personally, it represents an area that I grew up in. When you were a farm worker in the Central Valley and you couldn't afford the movie theater tickets on the weekends or the trips to Yosemite or to the beach, the one place you could afford to go to was downtown Fulton Mall, and go through the indoor swap meets, get some, pan dulce or some frutas from the vendors. It represented for us the culture and the pride of being a Latino in the Central Valley, and the only affordable venue for entertainment for us farm workers. Downtown Fresno started as the epicenter of commerce for the valley and the Fresno. So it used to have these big stores, your Gottschalks, your JCPenney's, your major retailers around the country were in downtown Fresno. Over time, they engaged in the flight, what we call sprawl and urban development, and sometimes white flight. They moved to the newest part of the city. And at the end of the day, the only folks that stayed in downtown Fresno and Fulton Mall were the Latino community. They were there in the beginning, they were there when Gottschalks and JCPenney were operating, and they were there afterwards. So for a time, a lot of people interpreted these big box stores leaving as downtown dying or not being alive. But the whole time it was alive, with Latino community members keeping these businesses and these mom and pop shops operational. As the city grew to the northern parts, and new suburbs were subsidized by the city leaders, the new stores followed those new homes. Retails and stores always follow where people live or move to. And in the case of Fresno, former city leaders subsidized and incentivized all these new homes being built away from downtown in the fringes of the areas, developing Madera and Clovis and North Fresno, so the stores followed them. And when the stores leave a community and a neighborhood, the money also leaves with them, and the deinvestment and deterioration of those neighborhoods proceeds. And that's exactly what happened in downtown. I would say that there's a couple points of reflection for the city. One is when the city built a $40 million baseball stadium into Chansey Park. It built that stadium with the condition that it was designed to never accommodate soccer, because they so desperately wanted to attract those who had moved away from downtown, the white flight, back into the core by bringing a baseball stadium. Ultimately, after 25 years, it has been losing its money for 24 years out of 25 years on baseball alone. And the only thing that has kept the stadium afloat is because it hosts international soccer exhibition matches, which is the only time the stadium is sold out, and Spanish concerts. If it wasn't for Spanish concerts and exhibition soccer matches, the stadium would have failed more than 20 years ago. The biggest challenge for revitalizing Fresno's downtown is just the age of the infrastructure, the most unsexy thing to describe. The age of the 100-year-old sewer lines and water lines underneath the ground, The quality of underground infrastructure represents 40% of the cost of building in downtown Fresno. In other words, if you want to build a $10 million apartment in downtown Fresno, $4 million has to be spent upgrading what's underneath the ground that's not owned by the project. And that's been the biggest barrier for revitalizing downtown, because the best way to revitalize an area is to invite more people to live in it with diverse and mixed incomes so they can have discretionary money to invest and spend in things in the area. But we are tackling that. As a matter of fact, the governor has made a $100 million investment, and we are in the middle of reconstructing the majority of downtown, replacing all sewer lines and water lines to ensure that developments that occur don't have to bear that cost. We're also building a high-speed rail station. We built and rebuilt all the bridges in downtown Fresno and the majority of streets, while building brand new housing projects that have had thousands of people in the wait list to move in. So we're on our way up by having people live in downtown Fresno.
While city officials grapple with long-term solutions and policy changes, there can often be a disconnect between political processes and the everyday experiences of the residents. That's why it's important to also hear from those working directly with the community, like local event organizers who are finding creative ways to breathe life back into downtown Fresno.
Welcome to the Fresno Convention Center. Have a great day.
My name is Kimaya Johnson. I'm the events coordinator at the Downtown Fresno Partnership, and this is my first year managing the Market on Kern. The Market on Kern has existed for about 12 years. It's a farmer's market that was made for the average everyday worker to be able to come out in the middle of their week and get fresh produce, to meet up with food trucks, to buy local jewelry and clothes and honey. I am a lifelong downtown Fresno. I'm born and raised here. It's really nice to see the community and the environment investing in our downtown and watching it grow and expand to reach its full potential. What this market means to me, it gives me hope. It shows me how resilient Fresno is. It shows me how even through COVID, people want to come back and they still want to be a part of this community. And I'm really grateful to be a part of that process. I hope to see more spaces that people can go and just relax, you know. I think everything is a space where you have to go and pay and buy things, and we need third spaces where you can go and you can set up your homework or you can meet up with your friends. But I also just kind of hope to see a better investment in this area. You know, we have a lot of talented artists out here, and we have the facilities to provide spaces for them to showcase that art, to showcase that talent, and I would love to see that boom. And I would love to see that be as fruitful as it can be for the artists from Fresno. Get involved, get involved, get involved. Join clubs, join organizations. Like, there are so many businesses here that they just want to put out good energy and create a space that is for the well-being of local Fresno people. And they need people, they need support. You know, we have a lot of people that want to celebrate their culture and they want to do it in a big way. They want to shut down the street. There are organizations that they want to do that for you, but they don't have the manpower. So join organizations, join clubs, and really commit to being their community so that we can host these things and we can have these things in our city.
Downtown Fresno is a place full of contradictions. A past filled with promise, a present facing undeniable challenges, and a future still being written. Talking with city leaders showed me the scale and complexity of what's been lost and what's trying to be rebuilt. But it was through everyday people, like event organizers and residents, that I saw the heart still beating in the streets. Progress won't happen overnight, but the work is happening in policy, in planning, and most importantly, in community. Whether you're from here or just passing through, downtown Fresno tells a story, one that is far from over.